Hey guys, Josh at you with another deck profile. This is on a Mono Alien. I like to refer to it as a beatdown deck. Um, I came up with this deck on kind of a whim. I looked up the old Dragon Ball Bandai forums, and I found a deck. For some reason, they're reactive again. I found a deck list for a Mono Alien deck that was run around Turles and Cold Legacy. I thought that really worked together, and as I thought about it, I thought, wow, Turles, really works good with that card. Because Turles has a better version of Fierce. Turles has the effect that when he's sent out to attack, your opponent automatically mills. So you don't have to get that victory for the mill. Turles just does it automatically. Plus, his search out for the event is also really good because he sets himself up for Cold Legacy. And I don't know how I didn't see how compatible those two cards really are. I don't know how I didn't see that earlier. So, alright, here's the deck profile. It's Mono Alien. Maybe even with a splash of Villain, but it's mainly Mono Alien. Turn zeros, I have 3 King Cold. He's a necessity at 3 because I run Cooler in here, and Cooler is a main part of the deck, so he searches him out. 2 Zunama. In my opinion, he needs to be run in just about any deck, whether it's 1 to 3 copies. So, then I have 3 Old Kai. Old Kai's just good. He recycles. He's really good. Turn 1, 2 Nappa. I'm running Nappa because I'm running, so much more support, and his effect is just really good. 2 King Kai. I agree with you, Gingerbeard. I think King Kai needs to be run in every Mono Alien deck. On the turn 2s, 2 Frieza. I know a lot of people didn't agree with this card being run after, Bujin and Zarbon and them came out, but I prefer this Frieza in certain builds, especially this one, because King Cold searches him out, which is a good thing. It gives a stat bonus because there are very few turn 2s with that 3 support. I think Chaozu might be the only one, maybe Goten when he's with Trunks. Other than that, there's no other turn 2s with 3 support. Plus, his effect is kind of decent. It can give you that 1-up if you need it. So, Frieza for me is a winner in this deck because, his compatibility with King Cold and his stat difference is just really good. 2 Dr. Wheelo. Dr. Wheelo, I'm starting to see the light on this card. I don't know if I read his first effect right, like when I was playing the game mainstream through tournaments and stuff. He's just really good. Generates chi, helps you go through your deck faster, just a really good card. Turn 3, I have 2 Niez. Again, kind of a funky choice. I was actually thinking about splitting them up, 1 Niez and 1 Zangia. I don't know yet, but Niez has the stats 3/3, good support for turn 3, and the random effect, you can pay a chi, give a guy -1/-1. It's decent. Turn 3, this is probably one of my favorite parts of the deck. 2 Brawly. I never was able to use Brawly in a deck before. I tried to make him the theme of my Alien Unique deck when I changed it from set 4 to set 5, but he didn't really work. So in this deck, though, I think Broly is magic. He's kind of an early game drop, really decent stats, fierce, good effect, toughness, can be a 7-0 because odds are they're gonna have a Saiyan. Broly's just a winner in this deck, and I'm actually thinking about trying to play 3. So turn 4, 2 Cooler. Sorry guys, my deck's collapsing over here. He's just, searchable by King Cold. Excellent stats, excellent effect. Searches out Niez, which I just kind of realized as I read the effect, so that's also a plus. That screws the idea of taking Zangia out, taking one out for Zangia. Just an all-around excellent card. Now, my favorite part of the deck, the Moneymaker. We got 2 Turles. This card, I've always tried to fit him into a deck, and I never could do it. I could never fit him in. Like, I built Bojack decks, and I'm like, I'm using Turles. And then I'd end up taking him out for Vegeta because, you know, I'm running Goku. I felt Vegeta was more efficient. One of the decks I built around Vegeta in, you know, with big bang attacks. So when I saw how compatible he is with Cold Legacy, I just thought, you know, holy crap. He searches it out. Not only searches it out, but he puts it directly in your hand, because most of the guys put it on top of your planet. He puts it right in your hand. Fierce is when he's sent out to attack. He's so good. He's got toughness. He's just an awesome card. I'd like to play 3 of them, truthfully. I feel, I disagree with you, Gingerbeard, on that. I feel Turles is a card that you can play 3 of in a deck. The only reason I'm not playing 3 is because I have the cooler theme in here, and I really like the cooler theme too. Final Warrior is 1 cooler to 4th form. Guys, if I had another one, I'd be playing it, but I don't, so. He's just awesome. If you really look at your engine in this deck, I just want to show this to you guys. If you really want to, you know, take a peek at what this deck is, you know, capable of, you got enough right here. You know, you got cooler, you know, you can set up like that, or, you know, even for beginning, you know, turn 4, you can set up just like that. First of all, Broly's probably going to be a 7, because you're probably going to be against a Saiyan. Cooler has, you know, you're looking at a team that's an 11, really good, 11, Fierce 2, you draw, you know, you use Cooler's own effect to search into his other form. Next turn, Evolution, go right into Cooler, still support Broly. Broly's a 10 with Fierce 3. You know, he's got access to things like Powerful Heritage, can give him, you know, be a 15. The deck, in my opinion, just has a shit ton of potential on this. It's just really, I think it can really be good. It can be really devastating. And, you know, you only really need to mill 5 cards until this deck takes over and just, you know, continues to crap in your opponent's face. That's it for Warriors. Actions, you got 3 Powerful Heritage. That is a must. I love this card so much with Brawly and Turles. Just so good. 3 Energy Sword. I wasn't really a big fan of this card, again, until I apparently just happened to sit down and read it. And I'm like just like Dr. Willow, it's just a really good card. Both choices are tough for your opponent to make. And, you know, Cooler's a mainstay in the deck, so, you know, could give him Thrash 1 on top of all his good stuff. Now we... I'll get in that last. 1 DOTC, obviously, I don't need to explain that. Dignity. 3 Roar. Gingerbeard, I'm kind of with you on this, brother. I'm not the biggest fan of this card, but my thing with it is it's just a solid negate. There's no requirements. There's no, like, you know, it has to be certain turn cost or destruction or technique or something. It's just a flat-out negate. Hefty cost, but what really in this game doesn't have a hefty cost, you know? It's a mainstay in this deck for now, because I need some form of negate. Now, Gingerbeard brought this card up to me, so I'd like to give him a shout-out for this. I was actually excuse me, guys. I just ate, so. I was actually thinking about playing this card in here because it kind of worked with the theme, and I'm like, it's not good enough to play in there. You know, it doesn't fit enough. It's not that type of deck, but I'm playing 2 Ultimate Transformations. There's not really a better choice for a technique, really, for Alien. There's not really, you know, too much of an option here. And the way I see it is Ultimate Transformation, you know, lets me search out either Cooler and Frieza. So that's a plus right there. And then if I would manage to, you know, use Evolution on that Cooler, you know, I can get a growth coin on him. You could be looking at a Cooler coming into play at 8-4. It's just a decent card. It fits into the deck pretty well, I think, and I'll see where it goes with that. I think it's a pretty good card. Yeah. And rounding out with events, you have 3 called Legacy. This card is just so stupid, so good. When you get this Fierce Engine flowing in this deck, you only have to mill 5, and that's counting if your opponent has already discarded cards. Basically, what you want to do with this card is if you don't hit it before you draw them, you play Turles, search it out. You drop it, you swing, you mill 1, you only need 4 more cards in that discard pile. And by turn 5, hopefully they have a couple in there from like Broly and Cooler and all that. It's just so good. I don't know why I didn't see it before. Because once you hit that 5 cards and all your warriors get Fierce 1, that right there, is so good, because then your support guys like Frieza and Niez and even Dr. Wheelo and King Kai and Nappa, Old Kai, all of those guys, they get Fierce, and it's just like, man, it's so good. You manage to mill 10, they all get +1/+1. It's even better with guys like Turles and the Fierce theme itself, because they have to win a victory. It's just such a freaking good card. I have to say this turned out to be like a deck that I made just for fun, really. But it turned out to be one of my favorite deck builds ever. I was building the deck, like I said, around a list I found on the Dragon Ball forums, the Bandai forums. And I built it around Turles at first, and I discussed it with Gingerbeard, and he's like, dude, why don't you run Broly in there? Why don't you, throw Cooler in there and try to run the the bigger Cooler, and that really worked really well for me. I loved how it came out. So I got another deck profile for you guys today. I think I got one more. It's a Bojack deck. So all right, peace.